I had a chance to sit down with Brian Shaw to speak about what fatherhood custody meant to him.
It's not good, You go from, especially like me being a very involved dad as far as sports and with my boys and, my daughter too. But you go from seeing them every day, waking them up for school, cooking them dinner at night, picking them up from school. It's a daily routine. You see them all the time. And then it's an immediate switch to now you don't, and you get every other weekend, which, it's not enough. Moving from Europe to the United States or something, it's almost like a culture shock. It's everything's different, like your whole day, and besides work, is based around, getting your children home from school, getting their homework done, preparing a meal for everybody, getting laundry, clothes picked out, getting them, off to school in the morning, waking them up. It's constant. It's a daily thing all the time. And you go from that to, now it's just you. I personally went through a bit of depression. Mine wasn't that pleasant. Still a work in progress, but, so that also can take its toll on you, and it's hard to deal with. Write everything down. I don't know how it is in any other state. Here in Iowa, it's super hard. It's kind of a mother-lenient state, I suppose, where they're kind of old school in the sense that they believe the children should be with the mother. There's some out there, some guys have custody of their kids, and kudos to them. But it's hard to do. Maybe if the kids are having some problems or whatnot, maybe they should go live with the other parent. Maybe that other parent is a little more capable of having a little more time or being a little more established financially and things of this nature, to where the kids are a little more at ease. You got to be ready financially, you got to be ready emotionally, and then, like we've been talking about, I've been through the ringer and back already. So if we're talking how difficult is it from the first to the second, it's, in some senses, it's just as difficult, but it's different. The first case I was dealing with separating, not being there anymore. Now I'm more used to that. It was more, now I'm fighting because I feel like my kids deserve more. And as a father, I have a good job. My fiance has a good job. We live in a nice area. We're more than capable of providing for them, and it's just, there's nothing you can do, especially when the mother doesn't want to agree with you, or in my case, it's almost like they're used as pawns in a sense. It's still to that point where the mother takes care of the kid and the father's out there working. I think they still use some of that mentality in the sense that the mother carries the children for 9 months in the womb, everything like that. There's some kind of bond there, obviously, when you're bearing a child. So I don't think that they necessarily take into consideration how much the father's role there plays. Some houses might have another step parent in the household, but that shouldn't take away from what the actual father wants to do, or sometimes it's not always the best decision to have them be with the mother. There might be that bond, there might be that connection, but sometimes the mother isn't as mature as maybe the father is in life. Cautious maybe, or look into a little more of how much that father needs to be around, or you need to assess both cases. You can't just go in there saying, okay, well, if she meets a minimum standard, or not necessarily I don't want to make this if one parent is just barely meeting a minimal standard, well, maybe we should look at what standard this other parent's at. I'm now sitting here dealing with the court system and losing the first initial one, of trying to get my kids back, and it's up to the Supreme Court, and I'm doing things that I need to do. But that's what I mean. It's like you've as the father, you've got to go above and beyond, and it's, you know, it's a financial burden. It's not, you know, cheap. It's pretty expensive to fight for your children, and then to get it prolonged. And when you have all these things, and you know, it's almost like a slap to the face. My children call me where I've had to try to go pick them up at midnight because of the situation where they're at, or you know, they can't handle their emotions for some reason, and you know, it's hard, man. It's hard. Where do you start? I don't know. I mean, top of the food chain, I suppose. Is that Supreme Court? Is that's some sort of governmental chain? I mean, you can't change law or open anybody's eyes to changing something like that if you don't, you know, start with somebody in government, I suppose. You know, maybe a House representative in your area. I'm not sure as far as that's concerned, but I think it needs to be done. I think something needs to be addressed. In some cases, you're leaving children with one parent that the state and everybody's basically supporting, where that other parent's financially capable of doing that. So as far as how do we do it, I don't know. I personally don't. I've tried everything myself, you know, find lawyers and point me in the right direction of what I can do and what my rights are, because a lot of times, you know, you as a father might not know exactly what all your rights are. And I'd say anybody that's going through something, man, just try to speak out or talk to somebody about it. You know, if you feel like you're being done wrong, or there's wrongdoings, or you're not getting, you know, a fair shake or whatnot, just climb the ladder. You know, if I showed them that because it got a little difficult and I gave up, I mean, school they're not going to try. You know, in life they're certainly not going to try. They're just going to give up anytime anything's hard. You know, they don't have that role model or that person to instill that in them, that, you know, life isn't easy.
What's your message to your children?
I love you. That's all I'm going to get out now, dude.